The first step in our drawing process will be to create a foggy gesture. At this point, you'll notice that I'm holding my pencil all the way at the back with just a few fingers. This will allow me to move more freely and not get too tight. At this point, I'm deliberately keeping my lines light, loose, and broad, trying not to get too caught up in specifics, but rather focusing on getting a rough idea of generally where to put things. This early on in the drawing, one of my main goals is to keep things as malleable as possible. So I want to make sure that everything I'm putting down will lend itself well to being nudged around in the very likely event that I'll want to move it. I always tell students that we don't want to let our specificity outpace our certainty, meaning that if I'm not positive that a line is in the right place, I don't want to put it in too specifically or clearly just yet. So far in this drawing, I haven't done enough investigation to be particularly certain of anything yet, so I'm keeping everything very open-ended and movable for now. I don't want to spend too long on this step, and don't typically let it go on for more than about a minute or so. Even though it goes by fairly quickly, it is an important step of the process, as it quickly and roughly establishes the general area that our drawing will be occupying. Without a doubt, the biggest problem I see students run into at the beginning of their block-ins is getting too specific too quickly. Oftentimes I'll give an example such as this, of how loosely I like to begin, and the student will go back to their easel and start like this, thinking that they're being very loose. I want to emphasize the idea that I'm really hedging my bets when I put down these big broad lines like this. I'm essentially saying to myself that I think somewhere in this spread is where my final line might go. If we start with a wider, fuzzier line at the beginning, we can start to pare it down as we progress throughout the drawing, working mostly subtractively. As we get more and more information, our line can gradually become more and more specific until we eventually wind up with the nice clear line that we want in the end.